Are we live? Now we're live.
Live. Okay.
It's like jumping out of the birth canal, right? So I'm Nancy Nance, otherwise known as Exponential Joy, and we're going to be talking about how the soul speaks, when the soul speaks. So when you go through that who, what, when, where, and why, we're going to talk about the when because we don't have time for all of the others. So when the soul speaks, does that feel like something? Does that look like something? Is it the same for everyone? No, it's different. It's different for every single one of us because we each have a different soul. We each have a different resonance. We have a different vibration. And depending upon how you look at it, there's a spark, I call them sparkles, in the physical body and the emotional body that is something inside and outside of us. The soul, the connection to something greater than us. What's greater than us? Well, whatever's holding the earth up in the sky. I think that's fair.
Absolutely.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something's holding us all up. Something's keeping us grounded more so than meditation. So when the soul speaks, there's a spark, there's a light, there's an energy, there's a joy. And when we're not recognizing that soul, there's a disconnection. And that disconnection can feel what I call fugly. Fugly is the word that rhymes with duck and ugly. So it's that yucky feeling that we have, right? When we're irritated, when we're aggravated, when we're afraid, when we're doubtful, when we're pessimistic. That's when we're not with our soul energy. Soul's always speaking. You don't turn it off. There's no switch. And even when we pass to the other side of the portal where death is, the soul still speaks. The soul always speaks.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. I believe in that 100%. Wow. Hold on 1 second. My dog is about to start barking.
Oh, and cute dog, right? Ashley, yours are barking in the background too, yes?
They were, but they're not anymore. It's more my kids that I'm more concerned about with squeaky toys and jumping around. And, it is what it is. It's mom life. It's okay.
You know what? That's just crazy. That's just crazy because when you asked are the dogs barking to Ashley, I'm thinking, can't be the dogs, it must be the kids.
Kids barking.
Well, they might. Oh, goodness.
No, but I find, what's the word? Interesting how, I know last week, Nancy, you interviewed me on your show, and I was showing off the crystals I've got, and when you was talking to me about the energy, all the crystals were literally like, only I could see like the electric would bounce off each crystal, and I just think that's powerful. So it's like they were trying to say something.
They speak. Crystals speak, trees speak, all those things speak in a language that can't be heard by everyone audibly. It's like a dog. The whistle, just a different frequency. And when you start tuning in and tapping into it, it's more fun, makes the experience of life more fun. It's like finger painting with Smarties.
Mm-hmm.
Finger painting with Smarties is really fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never done finger painting with Smarties.
No, I like the idea.
You need to. You need to. It's really awesome.
Yeah, you can just melt them in your mouth part way, stick them on the paper, squish them, rub them around, and put another one on top. You can use wax paper and melt them. And
interesting.
Fun. Sounds good.
5 kids in a budget, man.
Technically, you don't even need to put them in your mouth. You don't even need to put them in your mouth. like put a bit of water on the plate and start putting Smarties, and then start doing all that with it.
Good tips.
When the soul
Exactly,
speaks,
exactly.
there's creativity. See?
Yeah. My
Yeah.
dog finally settled down. So what I was gonna say is I got in a very deathly car accident in March 2014, and I was in a coma, and I feel like my soul was speaking to me, like God was speaking to me, just telling me, "Don't give up. You gotta fight with everything you got." So that's really what I'm trying to perceive, and like you live life like it's the last day to live, like you're living.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The near-death experiences change the experience.
Yeah.
They have a way of recalibrating what you see as important in
Yeah.
life. More grateful, Ashley?
Yes, definitely. Every day I wake up, I am so grateful, and I have a beautiful, handsome husband and a beautiful little boy now, and a beautiful dog that drives me nuts.
Ashley, can you relate?
Yes, I can. I mean, and I definitely agree. Like when you have those near death experiences, no matter what it's from, a near death experience is an experience, and
Yeah.
it shifts your perspective. You know, one isn't less um important or serious than the other. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those situations where it puts you in a different mindset. It shifts your priorities. It makes things that maybe were important before, but were they really, if they were kind of at the bottom of that priority list? And it shifts things upwards, if you
Yeah.
will. Yeah, definitely.
And within that vulnerability of the change is the choice.
Yeah.
What is the soul going to do with the next phase? You could have very easily curled up in a ball and gave up. You
Exactly.
warriored ahead.
Exactly what happened to me. I believe that like because I believe in God and whatnot. So I believe like my dead ancestors and God came to me and told me actually you have two choices. You could either fight with everything you have and make the most out of life, or you could just give up and like be disabled. Like I couldn't even talk, I couldn't even eat. I need a trach and a feeding tube to do all that because I was in a coma. So, and I chose to fight with everything I got because I'm here now.
Thank you for fighting.
Thank you.
Yeah. The gift of you is what we all have because of your fight.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Nancy. If you would be willing to like message me or something where I can get
Adam
in
will connect
contact.
us.
What?
Yeah. Adam will connect us. I'm
I'll
getting a
connect
lot.
you.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
getting a
connect
lot
you.
of information already. So I wrote a foreword in a book called You Do You, and it's about a young lady who was in a car accident at the age of 14, and she went to the other side, had a near-death experience, and was basked in the rainbow light. You two will have lovely conversations.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I I believe that like cuz I was on death watch for the first 24 hours. They weren't
Mm.
sure if I was going to make it or not. And I, I can't tell you exactly what happened, but all I know is that my body was I don't know. All I know is that I was so close to not being like alive. I hate to say that because it's so insensitive, but I experienced all of that too.
Well, I think that we've all gotten to a place whereby we've experienced some form of almost not
Yeah.
being fully alive,
Yeah.
whether that is by choice or by challenge, right? When we're living in a life that we don't fit into, that's when we're not fully alive as well.
I think it makes me think of sort of almost like fate, destiny, or fate, and do you accept your fate? And the decisions you make is obviously affect your path you go down. And I know a couple of people who are told, different people who are told when who have different health conditions, and they were told when they were young, their parents have said, they're never going to live independently, they're never going to achieve anything, and they both proved them wrong. And one person I know, he's had a successful career. He's got and he's done a lot of charity work and won an MBE from Buckingham Palace. So he's gone beyond proving the doctors who said he would never leave, who said they had to be in his parents' care and he'd never live an independent life. He completely proven wrong. And I guess it's that thing of like, so many times when things happen to us beyond our control, do we think that's our fate and that's going to be our life, or do we actually take a different choice and say prove it wrong and say, well, no, actually, and I think it can be some life, it can be a life or death moment, or it could be something like a huge, health thing, which it can like a multiple sclerosis or something, really quite a serious health thing, which can be challenging, but you stand up and actually accept that the fate that's been given you, or do you actually choose life? And I think it sounds like you've Ashley, of you, and also the friend I know, both Ashley and my friend actually proved, chose life and lived life for full and proved actually the fate was wrong. And I think it's quite an interesting thing, isn't it?
It really is, because those self-defeating thoughts, the diagnosis. Help me out, Ashley. You're quite the wordsmith. What's the first part of that word I just said? Diagnosis. Yeah. Why is it so quickly that we are terminated by our diagnosis? You're never going to get better. You can't get past this.
Oh my. I'm sorry. Like you struck a chord in me, because I had so many doctors telling my parents that she's never gonna graduate high school, she's never gonna live a normal life or anything, and I proved them all wrong. I did it despite what they're saying.
Good.
Isn't that what almost fuels us sometimes, is when somebody tells you you're never going to? It's like this, it strikes that chord where it's like, just watch me, because I'll prove you wrong each and every time. Like, you just gave me the fuel. Thank you.
And that's when the soul is sparked. Because the soul always wants to create. Always. Sometimes it just gets very weighted down by the life of a human.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's same when I go to the meetings as well, because when you see AA, suddenly you think it's just full of drunks. To a degree, yeah, but it's not a religious program. I know God is brought up many times in this, but it's not a religious program. It's actually a spiritual program. So,
yes.
And obviously I'm religious.
Is it? It's been a while since I've opened up the big book. A higher power of my knowing. Yeah. Is it a higher power of my knowing, right? And God's just a word, not just, I don't want to offend anybody. God is a word that is used. It's a noun, right?
Yeah.
My grammar brain's a little bit tired today.
I've read the first 4 chapters of the big book today, so yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah,
so I am reading it. After being shouted at by my sponsor, but yeah.
Because I think, Adam, I don't know whether I'm right on this, but as I understand it, for sort of AA, you're always once you attend and you accept that you're an alcoholic. They say you're always an alcoholic. It's a state. But I think it's how you. I think with a lot of things in life, it's what you define yourself as. I mean, a wider way. So, if we. There's so many different parts of us, and what we do we let others define us? Yes, that's for Adam. Yeah, that's a challenge you've got, and that's a big part of who you are. But that's not the only part of who you are. And it's easy to view people, in one way and see one struggle you go through as being you, or one health condition you suffer from. That's you. But actually, there's so many things that make us, like you say, if you're that soul shines through, then it's kind of, you need to find who you are rather than let other people define you, because there's so many parts of who we are, and I think it's easy to let.
It is, and yeah, I can admit I am an alcoholic. I am, but I'm an alcoholic in recovery, and that's what I'll be. And it is a long road, a long process in this journey of remission.
But that's not
remission?
That's not who.
But
that's not only who you are, though, is it, Adam? That's the thing.
No, that's not who I am.
No, that's one part of you. You're
I'm just the guy kicking ass of me and the demon. I'm just the guy here.
It is defined often as a disability, addiction.
Instead of saying I am a recovering alcoholic, how about just a recovering alcoholic? Because then when you stick the I am on it, then it's like it's stuck to you, kind of a thing. Recovering alcoholic.
I am in the process of self-discovery.
Oh, there you go. That's even better. Look at you, Nancy.
Kind of what I do.
I know.
Yeah, right. And those words are powerful, man.
Well, also when you start the sharing, when you start the sharing, I did actually used to say, "Hi, I'm Adam. I'm in recovery." I actually used to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's part of the the lineage of the literacy, right? Like it's the dogmatic, often called, part of AA that some people don't resonate with.
Yeah.
They don't resonate with that. I know I'm going to a beautiful event here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Shout out to Alberta's Battle Through Recovery. Bam. And much of that is distinctively different than the 12 steps.
Yeah. It is.
Apples and oranges, peaches and bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depends
yeah,
on
well,
what
obviously, I have learned that, yes, there's 12 steps, but when you read the big book, you'll figure out that there's actually 13.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
The 13 is a powerful number anyway.
Oh, it is. It is. And if you look at the Reiki precepts, which I have on my wall, I read them every day. It says, just for today teaches us, I am free of anger teaches peace. I am free of worry teaches serenity. I am thankful for everything teaches gratitude. I am diligent in all I do teaches integrity. I am kind to self and others teaches kindness. I am placid in the midst of praise or blame teaches letting go of the ego. Doesn't that sound like the 12 steps a little? Philosophy. Just for today.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many similarities in the teachings. Yeah. It's soul talk, man. The soul speaks. When does the soul speak?
Yeah.
When do you listen? I think is a good question.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it's different for each and every one of us. There's the meditation or medication. Why is it an or? We need both in this world, dependent upon the person. Okay. Ashley probably couldn't have recovered. Wrong finger. Yeah. Nope. There we go. So hard. Ashley probably couldn't have recovered from her accident had she not taken medication.
Nancy, I just want to say that I took, like, once I became conscious, I obviously needed medication when I was unconscious, but once I became conscious, I am very, like, if you don't need it, why should you take it? I mean, I don't really like taking medicine, and even when I was in pain and I needed it, I was still, like, not really wanting to take it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes we want to choose to be more conscious, and sometimes the pain is too much.
Yeah.
I will take a Motrin if I've got a headache. I'll also have peppermint and everything else that I use. It's interesting when you use kinesiology, how the body will tell you whether something resonates with you or not.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just that hidden language inside of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about all sorts of hidden languages. There's light code, people that speak light code. That's a
What is that?
Anyone else here know what light code is, or am I just dropping a great big sparkle bomb again? Light code is when you speak galactic energies. It's beautiful. It sounds like a radio station that's out of tune that you're trying to tune in, and it squeaks and bumps and whistles and very gruntal noises sometimes. And it's not the sound of it, it's the message that receiver is tuning into. Super cool.
Nancy, can I ask you a question? What kind of vibrations are you getting off of me?
Oh, you're so kind. I mean, that's just evident. Your kindness shines through in the most beautiful way. I think that's the one thing that we notice when we meet a person right off the block.
Yeah.
You can tell it by the sound of their voice.
It's
and their facial expression.
No, I'm laughing.
We're not going to talk about you yet.
No, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because what I'm getting from Ashley here is the fact that yes, Adam's a nice guy, but sometimes he can be a pain in the ass.
And
are you talking about me?
Me? What are you talking about?
We all have an abrasive part of our personality. What else gets the crap off the pan?
Right.
Yeah, and
I'm going to point here. I've got Ashley Smale here, and I've got Ashley Balza here, and I'm pointing there.
Put them together.
I am a
small balls.
Oh, Nancy, I have a very pokey exterior. I will tell you that. At least I can.
That's a strength. Those who conform to everything.
It's all right. Carrie thinks I'm a pain in the ass anyway.
It's about speaking strongly about what you believe in.
Yeah.
That's why I was introduced at a summit, and I had to write my own bio, and that always gets me. And kind, peaceful, humble, and a rebel with a cause. I'm not just going to sit back and not talk about the things that matter. I think it's important, and we're doing it more. I mean, that great time out, the lockdown, man, that just gave us all a little bit of fire.
And give us some time to do some soul searching.
Soul searching,
yeah. Gave us time to create things,
do
things,
and manifest things.
Yes. What did you manifest during that time?
Yeah.
I manifested the power within me to take some initiative to start this I'm trying to start a business, a speaking business, and I created a speaking business in the pandemic which I don't really want to say it's like successful or unsuccessful because I haven't really done any speaking engagements for it. That's still
You're doing one now.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, you're doing one now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because do you think that that's part of it?
Yeah. So what have
Nick,
you learned then, Nan?
Pardon me?
I think what you asked is an amazing question. Is what sort of energy do we provide to not only ourselves but society through these lockdowns? I think that's an amazing question.
Well, I mean, there's the in the deck of tarot, there's the Hermit card, which is the card about thinking and going back into the cave and self-isolation. Isolation. Boy, that's a yucky word for my tongue. There's times when we need to just get away from everything and go back and think about what it is that we want to create in this world. And if you're getting what you don't want in the world, then go back to the cave and figure out what you want. Go to your room.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a prime example. When we was locked down, it was the very first one. Now I know we've all got our views on COVID and all that, which I'm not here to share that. But thing is, me and Kerry, we was actually in the point of breaking up permanently, and it got to the point where we were both making plans to go our separate ways. I was looking at flats. I even viewed one, and you know what? I think it got to the point where Kerry said we need to talk. So we literally sat down, and it was like we put the kids to bed. We sat down till I think it was like 2:00 in the morning, and we just talked about absolutely everything. Got everything on the table, and it actually brought us closer together. At this point, we was only together about 12 years or 11 years, whatever. And it just shows it, doesn't it? Where if you're with a partner long term, how much do you actually know each other until you're actually locked in the house together? It's either going to bring you closer or it's going to drive you apart.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things why I always say, like, when you're taking care of yourself and you're prioritizing your relationships, especially when you're married, that's one of those things, like, you have to put your spouse, like, as one of your top priorities. Because if you don't and you prioritize your kids over your spouse, what marriage are you going to have after those kids are gone? Now, if you're in a situation where, like, it's an abusive situation or something along those lines, like, that's a different topic. But if you are, like, in a semi-good marriage or a great marriage, at least from your point of view, you have to make your spouse a priority, because when their needs go unmet, they're going to find it someplace else. So it's either on you to really meet those needs and pay attention to the priority that you need to give your spouse, or you're not going to have a marriage. And I have had so many people tell me, oh, my parents were married for 25 years, or yeah, we were married for 20 years and now we're getting divorced. Wait, what? What happened? How does that happen? Because somewhere along the lines, everything got broken. Yeah.
Communication is the key power. It's the most crucial one. Communication.
There was an undiagnosed problem with the engine for a long time.
Right, because it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. Divorce doesn't just happen. There are breaks along the way. There is. And a lot of times, it's something that could have been rectified if you were in communication and paying attention to the needs of the other person.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to do that, then learn how to do that first for self and then for others.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I was
I
listening.
feel like now we're in a marriage counseling meeting.
It does change around a lot. But that's a relationship with you. When you get in relationship with your soul, when you understand your soul language, love languages. Love languages are a way that the human expression speaks.
Yeah.
Because this is a soul with a body,
Mm-hmm.
and it speaks. And yeah, when you understand your love languages and then your kids' love languages, I mean, what's most important is your own, because then you can say, I'm really craving going out together, just the two of us, for quality time.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nancy. You've got a song in my head now. That just the two of us. You've got a song in my head now.
I can break into
I
share
am
for
not
you
going to sing
for a little bit.
I'm not
I
singing.
got you, babe.
Right. Yeah, I think it's easy to forget, isn't it, when we're in long-term relationships or marriages, you know, that we're parents, but we're also, you know, also a couple, you know, and having that couple time, you know, it's easy, and it's easy just to, you know, think, you know, focus hundreds, you know, on children and be the parent role, when actually to keep a relationship you know, to keep a relationship alive, you've got to remember you're a couple and you need couple time. You need to have a couple relationship and
Yeah. Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Nick. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, Nick, and I'm glad Kerry's tuning in on TikTok as well to listen to this, because
the jar. Have you ever done the jar before? Where inside of a jar,
I've had, and I know this
green
is
juice.
step one.
But you put date ideas into the jar.
Yes.
Write down a bunch of date ideas, and then you pull one out.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
So much fun.
We wrote them on popsicle sticks and put them in the jar.
I like popsicle sticks because then you can keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like on
Yeah,
a
'cause
memory
actually-
board.
Yeah.
That's
You
good.
guys are gonna. We never actually pulled one out because
Am I
we had
breaking up?
all this stuff going on.
Yes.
But now we're going to, because we talked about it.
It's an opportunity, right?
Yeah.
It's an opportunity. When you get creative ideas, where do they come from?
Your brain.
Formulating the idea is in the brain, but where does the idea come from? You see someone else.
Your soul.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, your soul. You see your soul gets sparked.
Yeah.
I see Ashley's skincare. Ooh. Sparks an idea.
Sorry.
It sparks an idea. That's when the soul recognizes something that it was intent on doing when it came here. We have intentions before we're born. You think that we just suddenly pop in out of an egg like Mork from Ork? Boy, that dates me.
Yeah, I remember that.
Nanu. Wait, was it? Is that right?
My favorite shows ever. That was. I missed that.
Robin Williams, right?
Legendary.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. Some of those old shows, the ideas that they hatched. Yeah,
it's quite interesting how how would a stranger view the world and simulate, and socialize, and it's quite amusing little take on.
It is. And how do you do that? How do you assimilate with the world? Because you are a foreign species within the world. Do you ever feel like that? Like, do you ever feel like a foreign, like you just landed in a world and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know how I fit.
All the time. I mean, I feel like an alien.
Yeah.
We're all aware of our, that doesn't take you have to be an alien to be aware of our strange social habits we have as humans, and how we, what our own sort of behaviors and challenges in that sense, isn't it?
The different cultures that we have.
Right, I'm back. Can anyone hear me?
There, you're back.
Yes, we can hear you.
It's quite exquisite, the human experience, right? It's so exquisite.
It is.
And yet
Yeah,
we try so often to fit in. How can you fit in when you are you? Fit into what?
Yeah,
What mold?
Yeah, well, I know
What
Ashley needs
pattern?
to shoot, but I know
Yes.
you're back next week, aren't you?
What is next week? I don't know.
Dangers of
Am
argument.
Oh, yes.
I
Yes.
don't know.
I'm back for that one.
Dangers of argument.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, that's
I have to scoot
next
to
week's
another
show,
appointment, guys. Have a
Scooty scoot.
fantastic rest of the show, and we will see you next week.
Bye, Ashley.
Bye.
Remember the ducks.
See ya.
Let's do again.
Not going there.
Adam, how long are these shows?
About an hour.
Okay, I may have to cut out a little sooner.
That's okay. We're understanding of that. We're understanding of that. So,
Of course, absolutely.
when the soul speaks to us, Nick, I'm going to ask you this question. What prevents us from taking action on that message?
It's interesting because I'm not religious at all, but when I'm around spiritual people, and it could be people from, like, I don't know, like sometimes there's a Buddhist place not far away from me, and I'd sometimes spend time with people because I just sort of feel absorbed their sort of calm, sort of spirituality. But I think I think there's something about being I think for me it's I think about I don't let the that authenticity of that soul through. I think it's me. I overanalyze everything, and I think before I just be myself and just I think too much, and I generally I think that's one of my
I think the brain sometimes just squeezes the soul.
yeah,
Right?
that's it.
Yeah, and then you're just like, oh, my head hurts. I've been thinking too much. Or you get home and you're exhausted when you haven't done anything physically. That's a big indication that the mind is just like it's like a pinball machine, right? Painful.
Yeah. So I think I like the whole idea of the mindfulness where you freeze that brain so you can just let be in that moment, let your soul out, let be that sort of just the true self out,
Yeah, well, I want to bring up something to do with soul. I want to bring up something. What happens when it comes to the communication? Because I know the soul speaks to us and all that, but what happens to our soul when it's speaking, when we're going through the grieving process of a loss? I thought that's a powerful thing to ask.
Well, the human is suffering. It's the human that's suffering grief. The human is suffering grief. The soul, when connected to spirit, and I mean, when my daughter died, this was not how I was talking, okay? When the soul speaks, the soul understands that there is no death. There's simply a change. When you get to that understanding, you're hearing. The memories that come are the speaking of the soul. When I see a little girl with a ponytail now, if I start doing the math and thinking about how old she would have been if she wouldn't have passed, what would my life be if she was here? Why did it happen? What did I do wrong? I'm disconnecting from the love that still exists.
Yeah.
It's a big process, man. I mean, I didn't get here with ease. I practiced for 25 years before she passed away, and then I lived it for 12 after it's been 12 years, if not more. Math is not my subject. So grief is a challenge, man. When you lose your job,
it's a hard thing to deal with.
Yeah.
Loss sucks. Even just if you just lose your keys. Go ahead, Ashley.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, but like I know you guys are talking about like grieving and stuff, but like when it comes like with anything, it's your perspective on anything. Like how, like I believe in God and I'm Catholic and I believe in the heaven. So I believe like when you die, your soul goes to heaven. But I know that not everybody believes that.
Mhm. Some people don't. Some people don't. Some of the most beautiful books that have ever been written are about near-death experiences and what people experience on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, they're such beautiful, heartfelt. They're beautiful. And yet we miss that physical presence. We miss that person that we're able to cuddle with at night, that we're able to toe touch.
Yeah.
Oh, it sucks. Grief sucks.
Yeah, my I think it's my second father passed away. I was quite young, and my mother's never interested in meeting anyone else. And so 45 years later, she still talks about him. But I think obviously, so 45 years and the grief is, I think her memory is still there daily. She reminds us, talks about him, and I think grief, for her, she never interested in meeting anyone else. 45 years she's been alone. In that sense, not met another partner. So I think grief. It doesn't no time limit. It doesn't. It's always there.
Interesting.
It changes, it evolves, but it's always there.
For years, Adam, I spoke about my daughter as though she was present. Emily is. My daughter is with me every day. She helps me with my inspirations. Like and that went over like nails on a chalkboard with my ex-husband. You're crazy. You're nuts. He didn't have that. He couldn't hear.
No. That what you said resonated with me because when I was in my coma, and even after my coma, I like saw like my dead ancestors and people who passed on telling me to keep fighting and everything. And I feel like a silly person sometimes for saying that. Like it depends on who you say it to. Like if they're gonna like how you were saying the vibrations, like if they aren't gonna receive the information and not like judge you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. When you start choosing the people that you want to be with because you want to be with people that are kinder, more peaceful, more compassionate, changes your life, man.
Yeah.
Now you can live the whole rock and roll lifestyle. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that choice if that's what makes you happy. But how long
Rock and roll
does that?
style. Well, I'm doing it with the air.
I'm talking about the like, let's party, let's just party. I enjoy going out. I enjoy having a good time. But when that supersedes what you came into this world to share,
Yeah.
is that going to sustain you for life or is that going to cause cirrhosis?
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was. I was an absolute idiot. That's how I'm going to put it.
Don't say that, Adam.
No. I'm saying I actually was when I was drinking, because even though I've been with Kerry for so long, I actually seen alcohol as my partner, not Kerry. And I was like that for years.
Wow.
It's like every time, whether I was upstairs in bed or whether I was downstairs on set, I had the beer close to me. I had to.
Wow.
I had to. And it was, yeah. That was my inner ego. Even when I was in hospital on a drip, being told I have to have an operation, and I actually discharged myself because of my inner ego. Because I'm saying it, I didn't give a shit about my life back then. I didn't. And then that night, I went out and got more beer.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting when you talk about that? I think that someone out there can relate with that. I've got to fill a prescription and I can't. The prescription says you can't drink for and you're like, 2 weeks without a drink?
Yeah.
I mean, I take a supplement in the morning and I have to go 10 minutes without
it came down
without
to
anything. And I set a timer and I get myself busy. I'm going to progress to just sitting and meditating for 10 minutes, because that would probably be a great time to meditate. And it's interesting to watch myself itch.
like me and Kerry was actually talking. Yeah, me and Kerry was talking about that event just the other day, and even she said she noticed me, even though I was struggling to breathe, I was actually laughing about it. I'm like, wow. But thinking now, I'm thinking, what an absolute cool.
I mean, that's why it's so important to share these stories, because your story, Adam, may not resonate with everyone, but if it just resonates with a few, a couple of one person watches this show, you know what I mean? Then so if one person thinks, wow, yeah, I understand that's similar to what happened to me, then you've helped someone. You know what I mean?
Light bulb
telling stories that people can connect with, and it can.
Yeah, like that light bulb moment when you're like, whoa.
Well, yeah. That's
yeah.
So,
what were you going to say, Ashley?
What I do as a job as a peer support specialist, it's someone with lived experience. So, like, due to my brain injury, I suffer from anxiety and depression. So I walk like that line of life and stuff. Like, I went through the process, so I can help others go through the process as well, and like give them like coping skills, or like help them guide them, kind of like give them the tools that they need to get
Peer
through
support is so beautiful. Peer support really is. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, it is. That's why you go to the meetings that you go to, Adam, is for peer support. Yeah. That's why we go to the bar to drink.
I've only been once this week, so
that's why we go to the bar to drink, though, too. We want to see our friends.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that we're alcoholics. You know, it was funny. I was at we gone out for dinner about a month ago, and the waitress said, "Would you like an alcoholic drink?" And I'm sorry. I'm like, I said, "Pardon me," right? Like I thought maybe I'd misheard her. And then she said it again, "Would you like an alcoholic drink?" And I said, "Well, I'd like a drink with alcohol, but hold the ick." She didn't get it at all.
It's sometimes people don't like understand right away because they haven't been through it, like, or they haven't seen someone go through it, so they don't understand like that. It's sensitive to them or to somebody that it can be sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can become such a more compassionate species.
Yeah. If we just work on it. I'm trying myself to be more compassionate and empathetic and stuff. I feel like I need some help with that.
Yeah.
There's room for improvement in it.
There's always room for improvement. That's what I was just going to say. There's always room for improvement. And I mean, some days when I'm not showing up as my best self and I'm driving on the road rage, right? Like, it still gets me sometimes when I'm in a hurry and someone cuts me off. Oh, yeah.
Nancy,
Nancy.
did you draw that butterfly?
You've rang me when you...
No, I didn't draw that butterfly. I've got another butterfly that I drew. That one, I've got a tattoo on the back of my neck with that butterfly.
That is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I keep looking at it. I'm just like,
that picture there is my.
I've seen different personalities of Nancy.
Well, I have different reflections depending upon the topic. I can get really spicy.
No, I was saying that there's been times when you rang me when you first literally went out the door, and it's like you got locked out. So you're thinking, what the fuck's going on here? And then yeah.
Sure, we
When you
all
was on that
lose our
break.
composure. Oh my God. I mean, there's a reason why on my keychain it says where the FUCK are my keys.
Oh, I see.
I have a brain injury and I can never find anything. So I resonate with that a whole lot.
It's a great conversation starter, Adam. It really is.
I think
It's funny.
everyone loses their composure. I think it's just more of a shock
Yes.
when people lose their composure. You don't expect them to because they don't often do it. But
I get paid to
everyone
be
does.
the calm in the storm. I get paid to be the calm in the storm. I got to practice, man.
Yeah.
'Cause when I'm in a hospital room with a family who is struggling with transitioning towards death, and you've got 12 different opinions, and things start going sideways, I have to remember that I'm there for you. Who is passing. That's when I click my pen and stuff, right?
That's your coping skill to stay calm. And
I think that there's a direct connection between this button and
Goodbye.
yeah. Practice, right? Practice. Practice.
Practice makes perfect, even though I don't like the word perfect. Practice.
Practice makes imperfection.
Yeah, there we go. And Nancy, I don't know why, but I feel the need to tell you that I have a tattoo that says what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger, and then across my back I have with every heartbeat.
Wow. Tattoos are powerful. I love my tattoos. I love every one of them. Each and every one has a story. This, oops, geez, it's weird when you got to turn the other way. This one I got, there, my back's still bothering me. This one I got, it says family first, first, and then mom. So my sons have the tattoo that says family first, and a very dear friend of mine, Adam, has it on his rib cage. And I wanted one, and I didn't quite know what I wanted. Like I didn't know the style. I didn't know the style. And then I watched Yellowstone. And I love watching characters. So I watched Yellowstone, and I was joking one day, and I was like, yeah, there's a new sheriff in town. And I'm like,
I've never seen one of that. That's unique. I've never seen that.
That's what I'm going to do. And it's funny because sometimes, especially in the States, people will look more because in the States you have a badge. Oh, and then it says mom, and they're like, oh.
Yeah, like if tattoos, obviously personal, got personal story, and it's a bit different. I like, but I'm always intrigued why people choose. But yeah,
what a great conversation starter with somebody. You're sitting in a restaurant, like in a waiting room at a hospital. Ask someone about their tattoo. Yeah. I remember asking someone about a facial tattoo. It was very different than what I thought.
Interesting.
Don't judge a person by their cover.
Yeah.
And no, it's very easy to judge for things like that, isn't it? Yeah, it's easy to.
What do you have on your arm, Adam? Isn't that a tattoo? No?
Oh, on that one, I've got my daughter. I've got my daughter's name.
Okay, see?
That one, I've got... Oh, there. That one. My story isn't over yet. I've got one of my son's names.
It's an opportunity for remembrance, right? How many people... Expression, remembrance. Yeah.
And express yourself.
Yeah, this lion. Yeah, how do I do this? That lion one, I don't know if I can see it, but that's a couple's tattoo.
Everybody?
Yeah.
I think I'm going
to have to go. I've got one on my neck as well. I've got one on my neck. That's the line.
It was so nice meeting you, Ashley. Like, I look forward to connecting again. I really do.
Thank you, Nancy.
I'm connected to both on Facebook.
What?
Yeah. Adam will connect us.
Okay.
I've connected to both on Facebook. I've
All
connected
right.
you.
Thank you so much, Adam and Nancy. And I'm sorry, I can't see. What is your name?
Uh,
Nick
Matt?
Ronald.
Nick, me.
Okay. And Nick. Okay,
Nick,
sorry.
hi,
Yeah, I
Ashley,
can't
Nick.
see it.
Yeah. One day we'll get an alphabetical order, but I don't know how.
His name's there.
Nick.
Oh, okay. Have a good day, everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ashley.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I was
Right,
I was
well-
overcome with
Oh,
emotion
no.
when Ashley was in because she reminds me so much of a dear friend, Jahan Spivey. He was shot in the back of the head,
Oof.
and his child, I can't remember what denomination, like what male or female, was in the back seat, and it was the crying of the child that got him to drive himself to the hospital.
Wow.
And his language is impaired as well.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's incredible. So when the soul speaks, it feels good, I think.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely.
When the soul speaks, you better listen.
Well, I think it's always authenticity, isn't it? It's, when the soul speaks, it's a true
The
voice.
soul will keep on speaking even if you don't listen, Adam. That's why you keep on getting the same lesson over and over and over.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, well, I think we should wrap up.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't
And
know
remind us what's next week. What is next week, dear?
Dangers of argument. Dangers of argument. I know we've got Doug Knoll. He's coming on. And Stephen Smith. Yeah. Stephen Smith, who is from Sarasota, Florida. He's coming on.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes. Yes.
Fun and
So, yeah.
games,
So
man.
I think
Fun
there's
and
going to be
games.
about 7 of us.
Wow.
I think there's going to be
Wow.
7 of us. I'm thinking.
Interesting topic name.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, or if not, it'll be 5 of us. I don't know.
It's
I
nice
don't know how
when we
many
can
there
get
was.
people
I don't know.
together.
Yeah.
We've all struggled with arguing at one time or another.
It's
Yes.
no, it's
Still a lesson.
yeah. Oh, there's common form of conflict.
Right,
Isn't
well,
there?
I'm going to wrap this up. And yeah.
Till next week. Look forward to it. Look forward to seeing you guys again.
All right.
Yes. Have a wonderful weekend.